This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
You already know where you are. Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I am your host, Gianna, and today we are getting to know Claire thanks to our sponsor, Sphere Rocket VA. So Claire, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we're super excited to get to know you. And so that being said, just take us back to the beginning. Who is Claire? Where are you from? What market are you in now? And how did you find yourself in real estate?
Yeah, thank you. So Claire Gogan, I live in Naples, Florida, Southwest Florida. Have a real estate team now. Got myself into, I should say I have a husband and 3 little boys, twin 5-year-olds and a 3-year-old. So those are.
It's hard to see other people living your dream, Claire. How cute.
It's a fun life.
Yes.
But yeah, so I have a real estate team and, I got into real estate. Life pre-real estate for me was all about horses. I was in the horse world, equestrian world. I taught, I trained, I traveled all over the country. Just kind of decided at some point that traveling was not going to be what I wanted to do. I wanted to settle down, have a family, and the career I was pursuing in the equestrian world was not really going to allow that very much. So got into real estate. And got into real estate. I've been doing this. I've been in the industry about 10 years now. And
Awesome. Okay. So then tell me, was EXP your first brokerage? Did you start somewhere else? How did EXP present itself to you? What made you decide to make the jump?
Yeah. So no, EXP was not my first brokerage. I started at a very kind of luxury brokerage, local one here in Southwest Florida that I loved. It was a great brokerage. I worked for a team for the first 2 years and then started my career there. Loved everything about it. But when I started to want to build a team, I was running into some roadblocks, the way their splits were structured, the way they wanted me to bring on team members. So that's initially what got me to start looking around at other options. From there, I actually left and went to a 100% company because I thought, okay, here I can do whatever I want. I can build the team I want. And that was good, but they were still a local company and technology was a big pain point for me. They were very behind with technology. I just felt like I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable. And so then I ended up stumbling across EXP, which seemed to have everything I needed. And that's how I ended up there.
Sure. Okay. So you saw EXP, you're like, okay, this place has the opportunity to build a team. It's got the tools I like, the cap seems reasonable. The split seems reasonable. Everything seems like, this is going to be the best business choice for me. So, cut ties, made that jump, which is great. But Claire, what makes you say, I am never leaving EXP? What do you love about it? What have you fallen on, just head over heels for here?
Yeah. I want to start by saying the reason. So I left that 100% company. I went to EXP. What drew me there was their team structure. As I mentioned, I was looking for somewhere that I could build a team. And when I started studying teams and I looked into coaches, and there was something consistent that if somebody left your team, it was all this invested time and they left you and you were left with nothing essentially. And God forbid somebody on your team wanted to grow and do more or have their own team, that was looked at as a really big negative. And so EXP was the first place that I found where it was like, wow, if somebody really was ambitious and wanted to build a team, I could actually help them and that would benefit me too. So that's what really drew me to EXP today. What keeps me here and what I have found I've benefited the most from has been the collaboration. I've met people that are all over before I was really just in my local market. No competitor was going to sit down with me and tell me how they grew their team. EXP has opened so many doors for me. Just getting to know different team leaders, going to events, having people share information. So what would keep me staying forever is really just access to all of these other people. And then of course, now I've learned about rev share and all these great things. But really just the access and the people that are in, and like you said, the culture, being in proximity to all of these people. Some of the top teams in the entire country are with this brokerage. You want to be, and I always used to say, I want to be the smallest one in the room, or I want to be the, I don't want to be the one some of these brokerages, I was potentially one of the top performers. And while that's great for my ego, it wasn't great for my career. So I always want to be among people who are doing things a lot better than me so that I can learn and grow. And at EXP, that is there.
While that's great for my ego, that wasn't great for my career. I love that. No, you're absolutely right. And it takes, a big woman to step back and realize that, because, I've worked in a lot of industries where ego is everything, and it's absolutely toxic, and, it causes people to stay very stagnant where they are. And so that's a huge quote, and I'm going to steal that, and I'm probably just going to write that all over my office walls, because it's true. Your ego is something that can largely get in the way. And that's really cool that you were very self-aware of that and stepped into a new realm. And they do say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yep, exactly. There's the saying.
Yep. And, I respect that you saw that and you took a step to better yourself in that way. And you're right. EXP does have that collaboration. They don't keep secrets to their chest. They're very eager to share with you, whether you're in EXP or not. I find that very unique that, you can sit down to lunch with a competitor. If you're with a different brokerage and you want to go have lunch with EXP, you can ask them their secrets. They'll be like, oh yeah, here's my play-by-play.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. That's what you get. And, that's what draws people in, because, it's just part of the culture here. It's just part of EXP is that you learn, you earn, and then you return. And it's just like, that's just a staple in the culture here, which is great. And I'm glad that you've seen all these perks of EXP. You decided to make the jump. Now, Claire, obviously you're busy. You've got 3 little boys, a husband, you're a high producer. So at the end of the day, how are you making sure to take care of Claire? How are you not on burnout mode, and you make sure you have a decent work-life balance going?
Yeah, great question. Really, for me, it's my morning routine. So I've had to carve out that space in the morning to have some quiet and peace, because you're right. My day gets going. It's full of meetings, and then I get home, and that's my time with my family. So I wake up every day. Well, I shouldn't say every day. Most days of the week, I'm up at 4:30, and I do get some exercise in. I'm a Peloton person.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I love my Peloton. So I do a ride, and then I have my coffee and write my journal and that kind of stuff, and my goals and all that good stuff. So that's really, sometimes I'll listen to podcasts, or it's just my quiet time. I find sometimes on the weekends, if I feel like sleeping in, I feel awful that I didn't have that time, because it's my only brain quiet time. So that really keeps me going, keeps me charged.
That's awesome. It's good to find what keeps you charged, whether it's alone time or being around people or whatever it is, because it really helps you be your best self facing your clients and all around. I mean, it's so important to take care of yourself, especially in this industry. You're so people facing that it can drain you, just exhausting, which that's great there. I'm glad that, and like, you're so funny that you say, like, when I miss my journal time, even to take care of myself, sleep a couple extra hours, I still feel horrible about it.
Yeah, I always regret it. Yeah.
That's interesting though, and then it kind of keeps you like a little more when your alarm goes off and you're like, should I sleep in? And also,
it feels so good, but then later.
Feels good now, but maybe just, trade that out, go to bed a little earlier if you can, if the kids lay down in time, of course. There's always those bouncing variables. Well, Claire, let's dive into the Icon Award then a little bit, but I want to see it through your eyes, right? So tell me, what kind of production did you have to do to Icon in Florida is where you're at, right?
Yeah.
So the production there, we want to know, how you gave back to the culture at EXP. Were you a mentor, a coach, and, what benefits did you really love about the Icon Award? But, the Icon Award through Claire's eyes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, the Icon Award is, a lot of people look at EXP and see the 80-20, and So the biggest thing about the Icon Award is that $16,000, of course, that you pay in that 80%, in that, or those 20% off each deal until you reach 16,000. The biggest part of that Icon Award is that you get that money back in the form of stock. So that was huge because, I left 100% company. So it was hard to kind of swallow that in the beginning. But so that's a huge benefit. You get that back in the form of stock. I love this whole stock everything because it's like a savings account that I just leave, set it and forget it, a kind of retirement thing. So that's a huge benefit. Again, being an Icon is beneficial because you get a ton of referrals in the company. People tend to look for Icon agents. So I've gotten quite a bit of business just from being an Icon.
That's great.
From different people throughout the country. The cultural requirements. So everybody, you have to choose something. I tend to teach the classes back in the world, which I love doing. I think that's a lot of fun. I think anytime I can contribute back to other agents that are trying to grow their businesses and their careers, it's really fulfilling. So I love that aspect of it. And other than that, it's a great way to do it. It's very smart. I'm a very logical person. And so I see that it helps us contribute back to the company and has everybody, again, those traditional brokerages where the top agents are kind of just doing their own thing and living in their own world and not sharing with everybody. It really helps us give back to everybody in the company. So,
Claire, when you teach those classes at EXP World, what are some things you specialize in or like to focus on?
Right now, so I'm trying to think of what last year. Last year I did some team ones. Yeah. So I have a real estate team. I have 7 agents on my team, transaction coordinator, an assistant, and ISA. So we're a decent sized team. And so it's taken me a lot to get to where I am. So I do love teaching anything team related just because I was there not that long ago. And I know the grit that those agents are going through and that initial, like, oh my gosh, I'm selling so much and now I need to build a team. So those are always my favorite things to teach, and just helping people figure out the organizational structure and different ways that it can work for them to help them get over that initial hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really exciting, and then team building here at EXP is really exciting because, that revenue share, it builds up, and I've met some icons that have $8,000 to $9,000 of passive income a month just from their team. So that's huge. That's great.
Yeah.
And that's a good, particular subject to focus on. I'm sure it's valuable to many.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome, Claire. Well, then let's talk a little bit about being a newbie, right? So you teach back to the EXP community. So I'm sure a lot of newbies tune into your stuff, and maybe they're new to just the EXP world. They've been in real estate for a while, or maybe they're just new to real estate. EXP is their first brokerage. They see this big shiny Icon Award. Is that something reasonable for them to strive for in their first year? What are some mini goals they can set out for it? Is that something maybe they should put off a little bit later into their career? What's your advice when it comes to iconing for a newbie?
Oh gosh, I'm a go. So I would say shoot for it the first year for sure.
Yeah, of course.
There's no question. I guess I didn't get into that. And so in my market, iconing is about 2.6 million in sales. Is what you icon, or I'm sorry, that's capping. That's not iconing. So you cap, and then you have to do about 30 sales here in our market. So absolutely. I mean, I think it's very doable. I think you have to, do all the things that you need to be doing. You got to be doing your prospecting. You got to be working 40 hours a week, getting in the office, doing what you're supposed to do, doing the activities. But absolutely, it's something to shoot for. And, if you don't get it that first year, certainly your second year. But I don't see why somebody wouldn't have that as a goal.
Absolutely. So, what should they be setting out smaller goals? Should they be leaning into their mentors? How is what's, I guess, some tips for them to achieve it? They can get there, but, what are some little things you do in your day-to-day that maybe they can rip off from you and use?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely breaking it down by the week. Setting a goal for the year is very hard. It will feel very big. So breaking it down by the quarter and then by the week. I love, identifying something we do on our team is we identify every Monday, what are your goals for this week? It can take those big goals for the end of the year and just break it down into the more simple tasks. So some of my agents will, we want to, schedule two appointments this week. We want to have 10 meaningful conversations this week. And those can feel a little more doable than trying to shoot for the whole year. Absolutely leaning into your mentor. 100%. They're there to help you. If you are the agent that likes a team structure, maybe looking for a local EXP team that's more involved. Like our team is very involved with a lot of training. Leaning into EXP World, the classes that are taught there are by the icon agents that are doing big numbers. Anything you would ever want to learn is in there. And really being diligent with your calendar. I'm huge on my calendar for myself and my team, time blocking your day so that you're prospecting. And then maybe in the afternoons, you're getting into EXP World to join in on some classes, make sure you're learning something new every day. When you're new, you've got to be putting the time in to just learn, and just get yourself out there and do everything you can. But yeah.
Absolutely, Claire. That's great advice. And to bring me to my final question, this is an interesting one. I always love to talk about this. So I'm sure at one point you were in these shoes, right? You saw EXP, you saw the greener grass, and you're sitting on the fence because, word has it that you don't want to go over there. It's a pyramid scheme. Oh, EXP is a cult. What would you have to say to yourself at that time, when you wanted to make the jump, but there was negative things floating around in the air, or maybe somebody else that's on the fence looking at that greener grass? How would you address this skepticism with them?
Yeah, I would say be open-minded. Absolutely. And if they're already considering it, maybe they're somewhat open-minded. Maybe go to an event. I honestly have to say, when I first joined, I didn't understand everything. It's a lot to understand. There's so many components of the company. They're all amazing components, but there's a lot, especially when you come from a brokerage that doesn't have any of that. So take the time to understand it all, but get to an event, because the first event I went to was so incredible. I met so many people. I really understood each component of the company even more. So, take the leap of faith and jump in, but then get to an event as quickly as you can, or go to the event before you jump in if you want. But yeah, get to an event is what I would say, 100%. I think once you go to an event, you really see what it's all about. You'll fall in love with it. And then, as the years go by, you just understand and appreciate the company even more every day.
Absolutely. That's great advice, and I've actually had an icon tell me that they were roped into EXP because a buddy was at EXP and he's like, "No, dude, I'm not coming over there. I'm not coming over there." So his EXP buddy was like, "Hey, why don't you come to this convention with me this weekend?" Yeah. It's just real estate agents. It's casual. He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Goes to this event. He loves it. He had a couple of drinks. He comes back up to his buddy. He's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I cannot believe how many EXP agents are here. That's pretty much all I've met." And he's like, I may have brought you to an EXP mastermind. He was just so impressed with the people he was around, and he's like, "Wow, there sure happened to be a lot of EXP agents there," because there were only EXP agents.
Yeah, it's the people, and that's what you're joining. And you have to get to know them, though. You got to immerse yourself in the culture.
Yeah, and you have the tools. You have literally the tool belt laid out for you. It's up to you to get in there and learn how to use them, because we've got the tutorials online. We've got 150 hours of training every week. We've got everything out there for you, but you have to want to immerse yourself in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very well, Claire. Well, Claire, I think this has been a really great episode. We're coming up on 20 minutes. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with so you don't feel like you left anything unsaid?
I don't think so. Let me think. No, I think that's awesome. I think we talked about my journey to EXP and the team and that to reach out to me, if anybody is ever needing help, especially in the Southwest Florida area, I'm always open door, come. We do have a local team here that we're always happy to bring on new agents. But even if it's just to reach out and introduce yourself and let us know that you're in our market, our door's always open. So definitely, reach out via social or or personally or any way.
Absolutely. If you have the opportunity to pick Claire's brain, get in there and get it done. Because she's a house agent. She's a mama. She's got 3 little boys running around at home. Fourth one being a husband, and it's great to get in front of these strong women, these strong icon award winners, and pick their brains, take their secrets. They're happy to share them with you.
Yep, definitely.
Claire, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure, and I look forward to catching up with you at EXP Conan Shareholders coming up soon.
I will be there. Thank you, Gianna. Have a wonderful day again.
You too. Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.